heights, Grandpa?
Oh yeah, I mean I fly. I told you that last time I flew, you know. Ready for this?
Yeah, I'm waiting. It's a joke.
Really, no, this is true. We hit some bad weather. I mean, what do they call that?
Turbulence.
Turbulence, a good
Yes.
word. That's what they had. This plane was just a rocking like you went, you know, and I was scared too. And this one to me, I didn't know her from Adam. And she grabbed a hold of me and she says, "Can't you do something religious?" So I got up a bingo game.
That's the beginning of the joke.
I thought it was a good one. Did you?
Good one, I like that.
Well, I'm sure you've all heard that before.
Speaking of pilots,
Here we go.
no, this one guy said, "What do you do for a living?" "I'm a pilot," I said. "Yeah," I said, "Pilot, yeah, where?" And I said, "I'm a pilot in a bakery." "A pilot in the bakery?" "Yeah, they bake right there and I pilot over there." I said I had to quit the job, the dough wasn't very good. So then I loafed a while. That's enough. He was a doctor where I used to have the shop, you know. And he came into the shop one day, and this is northeast Minneapolis, there's a lot of old people, you know. I don't know this guy that well, but I thought, well, he'll. I heard this joke on my way in. I says, "Doc," I says, "Geez, I understand you're a pretty nice doctor." He says, "Well, how do you, who says that?" "Oh, I had a little old lady in here says, you're such a nice doctor that if a guy can't afford an operation, you touch up his x-rays." He didn't think that was funny. And he says to me, he says, "You know, a lot of people, you know, they think they're sick, but it's all in their mind. They're not sick, and they come to me, and I can't help them." And I'm just sort of listening. I said, "Yeah, I know a person." Same thing. I says, he woke up about twice a week, and he'd be sleeping under the bed. You know, the guy says he's sleeping under the bed. Yeah, and he went to psychiatrist too. And he told me a story, and I said, I sold it like that. He said, "What did you do?" I said, "Cut the legs off your bed." Basic training. I didn't know this guy either, and we got, you know, you got talking to guys. You had a few hours driving, and just for some reason, this guy starts telling me he's a karate champion. I said, "You gotta be kidding me! A karate champion?" "Yeah." You know, he's breaking it up. See. I said, "I've never met a karate champion." Is that that guy that goes, "Ah, like that?" "That's the guy," he says. "I'm the guy." So we finally get to where was it? To Fort Riley, Kansas. Basic training. And they told us on the bus, now, one thing these guys got to learn is when you see an officer, you got to salute him. When you're outside, you salute that officer.
Salute him.
Yeah. Got off the bus. He's ahead of me. Here comes an officer. And this guy went to salute him and killed himself.
He did not. That,
They don't get it.
I don't get it either. Otherwise, he gets
Oh,
it.
he hit his
Yeah,
head.
Oh, that buildup, that's all it was?
You caught on and she's laughing. Yeah.
Well, in 80 years, you think you had a lot of exciting things happen to you?
No, I don't know.
Well, what's the best thing that ever happened to you?
I better say it.
You better.
I married you.
There's only one right answer to that.
Oh, you said the right answer. Just for that, I might stick with you for another 60 years. How's that? Well, what about all your wonderful children and all your wonderful
yeah.
grandchildren? Tell me.
I am lucky. I can do it, Pat. I'm lucky.
Oh, gotcha.
Gee, they know that, don't you? They always tell me. They always come up and say, "Geez, you're lucky."
Honey, how many grandchildren do you got?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
About 36 grandchildren and 24 grades. Or
Oh,
something.
you did it! Good for you.
Yeah, you're right. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, how many granddaughters?
I don't know.
Think again.
Jeez.
Think, how many granddaughters?
I have no idea. I don't even know some of these if they're boys or girls anymore.
Oh, Grandpa, you're really getting old at 80 years old. You can't tell the difference. There's something wrong there. Is your eyesight there?
Oh, the babies, the babies.
Oh, you're talking about the babies. Oh, all right.
The babies.
Remember we told you the other day you got 18 granddaughters and 18 grandsons. Isn't that a miracle?
Listen up, 18 and 18.
18. Well, there you go. That's easy numbers.
Yeah, 18 girls, 18 boys, grandchildren. The grades, well, I'm not sure what we have in the grades.
And this is true.
Yeah, right.
No, this one is true. No, I was in the hospital, at Walter Reed Hospital, and I just came from Germany. And got into the hospital, it was in the evening. And seen this doctor right away, and it's a big ward, and these doctors had their little cubicles, or whatever you want to call them. And I said to him, I says, and I told him who I was and what happened to me, and he's looking at my record. He said, well, I'll tell you what, and then I said, geez, I'd like to get home as soon as possible. It's been over a year since I've been home, and I have a child I haven't ever seen, and all that, you know, you pour it on, you know. Oh, I'd like to get a convalescent leave, and then you get one of them, you don't, it's not count as leave time, you just, you know.
It's extra
Yeah.
bonus.
He says, okay, he said, tomorrow morning, he says, we'll x-ray you and then tap your spine. You know, and I tapped my spine. I said, gee, I had that done over in Germany, and the guy was lousy. Don't worry about it. He says, I'm good at that. I said, well, all right. Now, I'm gonna, you know, I'm thinking of that during the night. I don't really like that now. So I get up in the morning. In the they call me down to have x-rays, see. So I'm down taking x-rays. And this other guy is walking down the aisle, you know. he's a recruit like me. And the doctor comes out, he says, all right, soldier, come on in here. And the guy goes in there. He said, well, drop your drawers and we'll get ready. And the guy says, what are you going to do? He said, well, I got to tap your spine. I told you that yesterday. He said, you didn't tell me anything about tapping the spine. I got an eye infection. And this kid told me this. I told the kid, you know, and of course then he didn't do it. I said, wouldn't it be something if they tapped your spine? Thought you were me. You're dying. I'd get home.
He didn't think that was so funny, did he?
That's a true story.
Did you have a cute experience on the airplane coming back on the Army? You were on a sick airplane that
Oh
just real
yeah,
sick
some
people?
guy got sick and then we had to land in the Azores.
A lot of them were
Well, we landed in the
ill.
Azores, and they weren't expecting us, but see, the pilot can't make that whole trip without having rest time or something. So we had to land in the Azores so they could take a rest. And they had just had a Quonset hut in there. It's just a small, crummy island. And that's where we're going to stay. And these guys are bringing us in. They said, you know, I hate to tell you, we're going to have to put you in this here Quonset hut here, and there's some
Mentally.
goofy guys in there.
Mentally.
Says, you hear a little noise, don't worry. Okay. Went in there, fell asleep. Hear a little noise, they're all going nuts in there. Gee.
What'd you do?
I stayed up all night. I didn't know what they were going to do to you. You know, they're
Trust them.
roaming the darn floors and yelling and screaming. Jeez.